Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So according to El Dairo, Independiente del Val have increased their asking price for Moises Caicedo. They now want around 10 million euros. Now it said last month we were trying to finalise a deal for around 6 million euros, and it would include a 20% sell-on clause. Now, Independiente del Val deny that we've made contact over a move for Moises Caicedo, but they do admit that they still expect him to leave at some point this year. Moises Caicedo has already revealed that his favourite club is Manchester United. It also mentions that Chelsea have been interested in him, and it did say towards the end of last year that Chelsea were looking to hijack our move for the player. It also mentioned that Brighton and Newcastle were interested. Moises Caicedo made his debut for Independiente del Val around 15 months ago. He's got a contract with them until 2024. He's played around 4 times for Ecuador. He did play in Ecuador's 4-2 win against Uruguay back in October. So if he comes to Manchester United, he will be the second Ecuadorian to represent the club after Antonio Valencia. But now his transfer to Man United has hit a stumbling block. But it did say, didn't it, towards the end of last year that negotiations were at an advanced stage. Then reports were stemming from Ecuador, and I think negotiations are still ongoing now. He is only 19 years of age, and he is a holding midfielder. You already know the news on Amad Diallo Traore. His arrival is imminent. We have agreed a deal worth £37 million. That was obviously agreed back in October. He says Atlanta want him back on loan for the remainder of the season, but we have resisted that offer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's even said that we are close to getting a deal over the line for Amad Diallo Traore, and he's excited about him coming into the club. And I think he will immediately get into the first team. Fabrizio Romano said a couple of days ago that he was flying to Rome to finalise to finalise the paperwork and complete the documents. Then he mentioned that he will fly to Manchester in the next few days. So there you go. Manchester United now have a serious title opportunity, because Liverpool did lose yesterday night 1-0 away at Southampton. Liverpool are winless in their last 3 games. Our next league game is Burnley on the 12th. And if we do win that, we will go top by 3 points. Don't forget, we were supposed to be playing Burnley on the opening day of the season, but it did get postponed. And after Burnley, we are away at Liverpool, and that is going to be a massive game. I said to you, I'm sceptical that we'll win the title this season, but we are certainly in the title race. Don't forget, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say after our 1-0 win against Wolves that we are not in the title races yet, but that's Solskjaer playing mind games. He said if we are still challenging at the top come March, he'll start to believe that we are in the title race. Now, if we do win the Premier League title, it will be our first since 2013, and it will be our 21st title overall. We are in a very, very good position at the moment. You know, we are joint top of the Premier League table, and we are unbeaten in our last 10 league games. And we have got to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a lot of credit. You know, there's 4 trophies that we can pursue this season. You know, we can win the EFL Cup, we can win the FA Cup, we can win the Premier League, and we can also win the Europa League. I said if we win the Premier League this season, that would be remarkable. But I said, if we don't win the Premier League and it's another trophy and we're finishing the top 4, the top 3, I still think that would represent a very good season for Man United, and that would give us something to build on. This is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's second full season as Manchester United manager, and I did say this season was always going to be big for him. But reflecting now on Solskjaer's been at the club, he has learned quite a bit, and he's gained managerial experience, you know, reflecting now on his being with us. You know, he's been at the football club now for just over 2 years. He's managed over 100 games as Manchester United manager in all competitions, and he has got a contract with us until 2022. And this January transfer window is Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as Manchester United manager. And I think the board are going to back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in this January transfer window. He does deserve more backing at the club because during this summer, he wasn't backed enough by the board. And quite a few times, Solskjaer showed his frustration towards the board. We missed out on all of his priority targets, but the board haven't backed any of the managers that we've had since Sir Alex Ferguson left, and that's one of the main reasons why the board's been one of the biggest problems at the club for several years. But Woodward has come out several times to support Solskjaer, despite us having a poor start to the season and despite us getting knocked out of the Champions League. By the way, Solskjaer wants to change 20% of his team each season. Solskjaer wants to offload 6 players in this January transfer window. He's held talks with them players. The players that he wants to offload is Jesse Lingard, Phil Jones, Marcus Rojo, Sergio Romero, Daniel James. Obviously, there's been rumours of Brandon Williams going out on loan, and I'm expecting Odion Ighalo to leave. And obviously, more players will leave the football club in the summer. But Woodward did say, didn't he, that he is confident of success under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Solskjaer has spent over £200 million since he became Manchester United manager. Brought quite a few players in the summer of 2019. He recommended Daniel James, Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January, he recommended Bruno Fernandes and Odion Ighalo in on loan. And in the summer transfer window of last year, he recommended Donny van der Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Facundo Pellistri and Amad Diallo Traore. Solskjaer did well last season in his first full season at the club because he guided us to 3 semi-finals. He got us qualification for the Champions League, and he also got us third. You know, we've also seen a lot of players depart the club since he got recommended in. Solskjaer, I think, will be Man United manager at the end of this season. He'll be given at least another season, I think, at the club, and if he is, that will be his third full season at Manchester United. Like I said to you, the thing that concerns me about Solskjaer is his decision making, because in a lot of his games at Man United, he has made mistakes, and that's obviously cost us. Analysing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure so far, you can say, yeah, he's lucky to be Man United manager, because obviously we've enjoyed bad.
Charlie,
What?
I'm going to get washed and ready.
Yeah.
It's worth the carpet, man. If he's coming, I won't be going. But if he's not coming, I'll go and windows at dinner time.
Alright. Then I think they're here.
Are they here? Right, 2 seconds.
Because, yeah, like I was saying, yeah, we have enjoyed bad periods under him. You can say he was lucky not to be sacked after our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham. You can say he was lucky not to be sacked after us getting knocked out of the Champions League. You know, you can say he was lucky not to be sacked at the first part of last season. But, like I say, with Solskjaer being a club legend, our board have softened their stance on him. I think disregarding him being a club legend, the board obviously would have been a lot more ruthless. You know, like I said, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got appointed in as Man United manager, you know, he was inheriting a lot of deadwood, and he's still inheriting some deadwood now. The vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's. You know, there's only a couple of players here now from Louis van Gaal era. There's only one player here from the Moises era. And there's only 2 players here now from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. You know what I mean? We appointed Solskjaer in December 2018 to replace Mourinho, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. We're given the job permanently, reflects on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. We've been very, very good away from home in the Premier League this season. You know, we haven't lost away from home in the Premier League this season. And we've started winning more games at home recently. We've won 4 games at Old Trafford so far in the Premier League this season. We was enjoying our worst start at Old Trafford for around 50 years. But like I said, in regards to Solskjaer, you know, I'm starting to slowly change my perception on him, and I'm starting to believe he is the right manager for Manchester United. Now, obviously, my perception was total comparison earlier on this season, because I was very, very critical of him, and so too were a lot of Man United fans. You know, I was very, very critical of him at the first part of last season. But there's a lot of Man United fans that are now all in, and his priority is leading the club to long-term success. It's very imperative that we get our first trophy on the board under him, because we haven't won a trophy now for just over 4 years. Don't forget, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since Ferguson left. 3 managers have been sacked since Ferguson retired, and that was David Moyes. He got sacked after 10 months. You know, we finished 7th under the David Moyes era. That's the lowest we've finished in the Premier League era. Ferguson was obviously at the fault for recommending Moyes in the first place. But that's the only mistake Ferguson made. We sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup. And we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years, despite him winning the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield in his first season. But I give you the reasons why it didn't work out under Mourinho is because he had bad disputes with the board, bad disputes with the top players. And basically the board weren't backing the signings that he wanted to recommend in. I think putting the stats into circulation now, you can say Solskjaer is our best manager since Sir Alex Ferguson left. He was certainly better than David Moyes. I'm starting to believe that Solskjaer has been in the good times back to Man United. We certainly enjoyed very, very good times under the Sir Alex Ferguson era. You know, Alex Ferguson endured 27 years at the football club, won a total of 38 major honours, including 13 Premier League titles. Like I've said, no one will last as long as him and no one will replicate his legacy. But we are now competitive under Ole. You know, it takes some managers time to settle in. You know, Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club, and he was very, very close to getting sacked. And good job he didn't get sacked, or wouldn't have had any success at all. Because since he left, we haven't been the same team, and before he came into the equation, we weren't good either. You know, we spent a lot of money since Ferguson left. We spent over £1 billion on players, and we've brought a good 36, 37 players in since Sir Alex Ferguson left. Now, like I've said to you, we have got good players at Man United. You know, you've got Marcus Rashford. That's a very, very good player. You know, Marcus Rashford has been part of the club for several years. I think he's been at United since 2005. He's been with us since the age of 7. And he's been in our senior squad since 2016. And since then, he has become an integral part of our team. Rashford's been in our senior squad now for over 4 years. Sometimes we put Rashford out wide and sometimes we play him centrally, but I think he's better out wide. That's where he's more effective. I've also got to say that Edinson Cavani is a very good player, and he's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. And Solskjaer said not so long ago that Edinson Cavani is definitely a starter. He said that we are looking to extend his contract. And Solskjaer revealed the first thing that Edinson Cavani asked him when he came into the club, and that's whether he could wear the number 7. We know that obviously Edinson Cavani's got 2 games to serve because the FA give him a 3-match ban and they fined him £100,000 for the racist comment that he put on social media last month. But yeah, I said he's going to be a miss, didn't I? I think that Anthony Martial has recently rejuvenated himself. You know, he's proven to be more clinical. He scored in our 2-1 win against Aston Villa, did Anthony Martial. Tyrone Mings was the culprit for that. Earlier on in the season, though, Martial was out of form because he wasn't being clinical enough in front of goal. Don't forget, he got that 3-match suspension earlier on in the season, Martial, because he got sent off in our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham. Anthony Martial was very, very good last season, and he was good in his debut season under Louis van Gaal era. He's been at Man United now for just over 5 years. You know, sometimes he plays out wide, sometimes he plays centrally. Ollie was the one that gave Martial that number 9 shirt. I think Mason Greenwood is also a very, very good player. Hasn't been playing a lot though recently. Don't forget, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been defending Greenwood a lot this season. Don't forget, earlier on in the season, he had personal issues. He was out with injury at one point, and he was out with illness. You know, this is Mason Greenwood's 2nd season in our senior squad. We're giving that number 11 shirt at the start of this season. Bruno Fernandes, he's obviously an exceptional player. He's the best player we've got and is the best signing we have made since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Fernandes has been at the football club now for almost a year. He won Player of the Month for December. He's won that now quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. Bruno Fernandes recently scored in our 2-1 win against Aston Villa from the penalty spot. Bruno Fernandes said he came to Manchester to win trophies and he was disappointed that we didn't win a trophy last season. He predominantly plays in that number 10. Got to say, Donny van der Beek's a good player. That's when he plays. He seldom starts in the Premier League. He's only started 2 league games, and that was against West Ham and Southampton. And now I've been hearing stories saying that his bags must be packed if he doesn't play against Manchester City tomorrow night.
Charlie,
What?
come and help us move some of this furniture into the spare bedroom.
Come and help you?
Yeah.
Wait there a second.
You saw me looking at me up to there, you fucking black cunt.
Oh, well.
No, that'll probably do. I think that's it, Charlie. That'll be all right.
Sorry guys, I was just doing something. I am now back. But yeah, as I was saying about Donny van der Beek, yeah. It recently said from Corriere dello Sport that Inter Milan are looking to get him on loan this January. And a swap deal could be involved with, Christian Eriksen. We got Donny van der Beek in a deal worth £40 million. He can play in like 3 different roles. He was predominantly a box-to-box midfielder for Ajax. Now, I think also Fred's been very, very good this season. He showed good attacking intent and his defensive contributions being good. I just think he needs to improve the reading of his game. Fred's been at the club now for a few years. Got him in a deal worth £52 million from Shakhtar Donetsk quite a few years ago now. I've got to give Paul Pogba a lot of credit. He's been very, very impressive since he came back from that ankle injury, Paul Pogba. Now, Solskjaer said that ankle injury he had earlier on in the season was totally comparison to the one that he had last season, because he was out for the vast majority of last season. Now, Paul Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga. He's been linked with a return to Juventus. Swap deals have been high on the agenda. Now, he recently said that we rejected a Juventus swap deal offer involving Aaron Ramsey and Douglas Costa. He says, we will let Paul Pogba leave in a swap player transfer, but not for Aaron Ramsey or Douglas Costa. Now, it did say last year that Juventus had also offered us Adrian Rabiot and Aaron Ramsey. Then it said they'd offered us Paulo Dybala and Federico Bernardeschi. He said, in this January transfer window, Juventus were only willing to pay £50 million for him. If Paul Pogba leaves, he'll leave in the summer. I'm very sceptical he'll leave in this January transfer window. Pogba did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus, but, there you go. He's been linked to a move to Real Madrid as well. PSG have recently reignited their interest, and Barcelona and Inter Milan have been in for him before. Don't forget, earlier on in the season, we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, so he's under contract on Man United until June 2022. Paul Pogba's agent, Mino Raiola, told 2Sport last month that Paul Pogba's career at Man United is over. He said he's unhappy and he has to leave, and he's got no intentions of signing a new contract, and he changed his statement. Just after that, Solskjaer was actually furious with Mino Raiola. This is Paul Pogba's 5th season at the football club since he rejoined, and at the moment he is our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for him. Luke Shaw, I've got to give him a lot of credit because I think he's also done very, very well. He's got forward well, defensively being good. My only element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he is injury prone. Luke Shaw's enjoyed a good, 6 years so at Man United. Got him for £30 million from Southampton back in 2014. I think Alex Telles has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. He has had a couple of bad games, those Telles, but obviously some players do enjoy bad games at some point. Well, all players do, should I say. We got Telles in a deal worth £15.4 million. Harry Maguire, I've got to give him a lot of credit because he's rejuvenated himself. Good to see him bounce back from his early season troubles because he had that incident in Greece before the start of the season. But when Maguire has played well this season, he's been very effective in the air. He showed that ability to play out from the back. He's made vital interceptions. My concern about Harry Maguire is that he is a static centre-half. And when he has been bad, he's made mistakes and he looks far too exposed at the back. He certainly wasn't worth the £80 million that we got him for. He is the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment, and he is our current captain. I think Eric Bailly's a very, very good centre-half. He started our last 4 games in a row, and he's been very impressive since he started playing again. He intercepts the ball well, made a very, very good interception towards the end of the Villa game. He's just a good centre-half. He's just injury-prone, is Eric Bailly. That's my only element of concern about him. I think he's a much better centre-half than Victor Lindelof. And Wan-Bissaka, I think he's a very, very good right-back, but obviously we've got element of concerns about his lack of attacking intent and, his distribution. But Bissaka did get an assist in our 2-1 win against Villa. He got the assist for Martial's goal. And he scored 1 goal for the club, and that was in the 4-1 win against Newcastle earlier on in the season. This is Wan-Bissaka's 2nd season at Man United. And David De Gea, I think he's getting back to his best because he's enjoyed good games this season where he's made very, very good saves. I said he will remain our number 1 for this season. David De Gea's into his 10th season at Manchester United, so he has been a long servant and he's made over 500 appearances for the club in all competitions. So there you go. On my next video, I'll be giving my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference ahead of our game against Man City tomorrow night in the EFL Cup semi-final. I've already given you my preview for that game, and I recently give you my starting 11 prediction. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.